Hello, everyone, and welcome to Relationship Rhetoric. I'm your host, unapologetically Angela. Thank you so much for taking time out to share with me today. Um, I say it every time. I'm so excited. I really am intentional when looking for people to be on the show. And this woman I've been following quite a while, and I had to start thinking today, what made me follow her? But her messages are consistently about love and uplifting people and, pushing yourself to the next level, going through the levels of love, going through the levels of life, and it's consistent. So I really appreciate that because with the way the world goes, people are so wishy-washy what they believe in, what they stand on. So to actually get to meet and actually talk to her is going to be really a treat. And then she's a grown woman, you know, a grown woman with a grown woman perspective. And so that's really exciting because we tend to have a lot of fluff conversation and I just don't do that well. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, with love, Felecia. Hello. I think you muted yourself.
Okay, can you hear me
Yeah.
now? I'm
Yes,
trying
yes,
to get
yes,
my
yes.
lighting right. I feel like my lighting. Let me see.
Oh, now that's perfect.
Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Because I can still see that. I almost wondered if I should take my glasses off because the reflection. I want them on, but we'll just make
Hey,
it work.
yeah, exactly. So I really am interested about just your tag alone with Love Felicia. How did that come
Mm,
about? Is it as simple as it sounds?
it really is. You know how you sign a card?
Yeah.
That's where it came from.
Oh, I love that.
Writing letters and signing cards with
Okay.
love, Felicia. And many moons ago, I was seeing someone and we were exchanging, cards and letters. And
Mm,
I said, well, that's really cool. Like, I like with love, Felicia, like
mm.
it's on a card, but I actually like it as a name. I feel like it stands out and illuminates what it is that I'm trying to, or not trying, what I am doing in the world, which is illuminating love and sharing love in every way, shape, and form. So I kept it and it's
I love
just
it.
stuck with me. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so do you feel like you've always been this type of person? Always just illuminating love and joy?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Um, I think even in my family, I was the peacemaker. I always wanted us to find love and joy. Um, but of course, being that particular person also meant that at times I was a people pleaser. And so then I
Mm,
had to go through the journey of, are you people pleasing so that people don't see your flaws, so that you don't get in trouble, so that you don't get called out? And of course, that didn't happen until I got older.
okay.
But it's like, but I've always been a very loving person. I felt very empathetic when I was a child watching TV. The news made me sad. I would cry.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like watching it, I didn't like destruction. I didn't like people being hurt. So yeah, that has been the embodiment of who I am all my life. Yeah.
Wow. Has anyone, because I don't think I've had this happen, but I have heard people say that, people in your family, especially, will challenge that, like you were saying, being a people pleaser. Are there people been like, are you really like this?
Oh yes. Oh yes. I've had people throughout time and space. And I just, family, I think always felt like, oh, you're always that way. But even people in society have been like, they'll know somebody I know and be like, is she really like that? And they're like, yeah, she's really like, she can't really be like that. No, I really am. It really does take me a lot to go there because I try to, without a question of a doubt, look at each one of us being an aspect of God, right?
Mm,
Being an aspect of the Most High. So if we're all aspects or we're all a part of the Most High, which makes us, right, the reflection of God,
yeah.
then that God is love. And so I do my best to operate in love with other people, even when folks are, operating on a lower vibration.
Yeah.
I try to remember that. Like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, everybody is okay. All right. Go ahead and take a few deep breaths and let them
Uh-huh.
know, bless their hearts and keep it moving. That
That's
doesn't
it.
mean that you don't create healthy boundaries because that's important to do that. You can't allow people just to zap you because, they're on the frequency that they're on. You got to take ownership of that. Like, what works for me? Okay, this doesn't work for me for whatever reason. They're reflecting this kind of energy, and I recognize it, but I don't have to own it. So you can have that.
Mm.
And I'm gonna go ahead and be over here with love.
Okay. Recognize it, but you don't have to say that again because I
You don't
that
have to
said with
own
me.
it. You
You
don't
don't
have
have
to
to
own it.
own
You
it.
don't Yeah, and you don't have to take on other people's stuff. Like, we do that all the time. One of the tools that I do when people are dumping
Uh-huh.
is, I say to myself, if this is not for me or about me, then it can't be on me, right?
Mm.
So I'm not going to carry it.
Okay.
And so I put like a light of protection, a bubble of protection around myself, and I allow people to share, but it bounces off. So I'm not taking it with me. Because oftentimes, as empathetic, loving people, we carry other people's stuff. So if we're intentional when somebody is dumping or somebody is having a moment that is of a lower vibration, we can protect ourselves by saying, if this is not for me, I'm not carrying it. I'm not going to carry it anymore. And I'm going to keep myself protected in this space and time.
Wow. Felicia, when did you realize or put a label on, I guess I would say, that you were an empath?
Mm. When I was a kid, I remember my great grandmother passed away.
Mhm.
And we were in church. People was praising the Lord and crying heavily and heartfelt. And I'll never forget, there was a stained glass window over, and I had to be, I don't know, was I 10? Anyway, I think it was around that time. There was a stained glass window above the preacher's pulpit, and this light went right through the stained glass window and just kind of, like a beam,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it like hit me. And I thought it was the most magnificent thing, because if you ever look at a stained glass window, when the sun, let me take these off, when the sun hits it, it's just a magnificent piece of art, even in itself being
Yeah.
illuminated, right?
Yeah.
Well, folks was crying next to me. And I heard this voice, I'll never forget it. And my great grandma was like, I don't know why everybody crying. I'm fine.
Mm.
And I remember just laughing because she was like, basically, like, why y'all crying? I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. So I started laughing at it. My dad was like, don't you be laughing in the church. And then it made me be quiet about things that I heard and seen,
Mhm.
and question, like,
Mhm.
did I really hear that? You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
nobody else heard it. So it was a young age that I knew that I was filled with a particular kind of light that kept me connected to the Most High, and the ability to be in contact with our ancestors. So eventually, over time, by the time my dad's mom made transition, she came and talked to me, as they do. And she said, just tell your dad I love him. I was just waiting for his brother to get in town so I could, cross over and tell him
Mm.
thank you so much for helping me. So I told him that, and he just started crying. And that was when he finally believed me. But I think I was in my 30s by that time. And like my first incident, I was 10, like 10ish or whatever. So it's been there. It's And I think when we're younger, we're so much more closer to the source. We have so many more gifts. And then adults, in their indoctrination about what they think this is and how it's labeled witchcraft, or you're too sensitive and things of that nature,
Mhm.
we get labeled, right? They blow out our light a little bit,
Mm.
you know?
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And they're doing the best that they can based on what they know, based on how they've been introduced to whatever it is that they believe. And we lose something, and so then all of our lives we're doing our best to come back to it, right?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Ooh. Um. So, what do you do for a living? What's your day to day?
Ooh, that's a great question. So I'm a teaching artist. And so what I do is I use the arts to promote the social and emotional well-being of people through creativity. So that's
Okay.
part of what I do. And my background and my foundation is an educator. I have my master's in education. So I've been very blessed to be able to intersect both of those passions and make my career manifest. So I get to create, and as I create, I get to educate, right? And so it's like this give and take, and I love it. So whether it's performing or giving workshops or writing or teaching, I get to do it all, and it's all in my wheelhouse.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Well, I'm an educator as well. So, yes,
Yes,
hats
ma'am.
off to you. Hats off to you. Um, so do people come to you and do they set up appointments? How does this work?
That's a great question. I'm trying to make sure my bangs are like not all over the place. I'm
Felicia.
looking like that one right there is like doing its own thing. I put my Rick James bangs in, and they have to have a particular lay, honey. All right. So yes, people can come to me one on one.
Okay.
I've been blessed for since 2012. Organizations contract me directly, and I do work
Nice.
for them. But I also offer sessions to the public. So in the private sector, I've been doing this since 2012. But in the public sector, I have a page on Facebook, The Release, where I give all kinds of tips and tools to queens to use. Um, and then I do. I've been hosting a conference um, called The Release that allows women to just learn something about themselves, body, mind, and soul, in order to reconnect to their highest self, their divine femininity. And I've been doing that since 2014. But if people want to see me one on one, and this happens all the time, what's so crazy is I have always given out information. I just feel like I'm not supposed to take it with me.
Hmm.
But we do
Hmm.
live in a time of capitalism, and people make a lot of money giving out information. So I'm in a shift right now where I'm like, okay, let me charge. I'll do little things for people. I'll still do that. But if folks want to see me one on one, we're gonna get to work because I've been doing this for so long that it's worthy of the energetic exchange of money.
Absolutely.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
can you pinpoint back to so you realized that you had a personal gift when you actually could help other people or use your tools to help other people?
You know what? Because you're an educator, I don't know if you were like me, always teaching school, have playing school, being a teacher. So I've done that
Yeah.
always. In terms of being able to give back to other people, I don't know. I think it just kind of happened naturally. As an artist, I always felt like my work was for edutainment, as KRS-One coined. You
Hell
educate and entertain
yeah.
simultaneously.
Uh-huh.
So I've always done that in the realms of performance. So performance poetry or performance theater, that has always been true for me. And then workshops typically would follow after that.
Okay.
My partner, who is now an ancestor, um, Natanye Davine Stewart, in the 90s, we had a group called Daughters of the Diaspora, and we would do
Mm,
performance poetry and then have workshops after that. So since like 94, I've been doing those kind of things. And then that was also a personal journey into heartache, pain, women's health, and wealth. I'm very blessed to say when Queen Afua was first starting her,
oh wow.
when she first opened her shop in Brooklyn in the 90s, I was a part of the group of women that were a part of that particular learning.
Okay.
um, Her, Dr. Jill Pookrum. I was introduced to Louise Hayes back then. Um, I mean, you name it, we were in it. It just wasn't called the same thing at that time. Ayanna Van Zant, all of that for me happened in the 90s. So to see them like really expand in their work now is a blessing because I got to see them in the beginning stages and be a part of their work then.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so how long? Back to that question.
You
Probably
said the
the 90s.
90s. In the
Yeah, the
90s.
90s.
Okay.
Yeah, where I think a lot of things right now, and no judgment because it's beautiful to see it, but sometimes things can get faddish. I did a lot of work to get to here.
Yeah.
Just a lot of work. Yeah.
Understood. Understood. Okay, so what would you say? What comes to my head is your greatest success, but I want to say more um, memorable moment. In
Mm,
the process of you educating and helping women release.
my greatest moment. One of my greatest moments is when I gave birth to the conference, The Release, which is the creativity conference that taps into the social and emotional well being of women through creative arts and focuses on self care, which again manifested in 2014. My mom was there, and my mom again is an ancestor. So that was one of my greatest accomplishments because she believed in women coming together for the greatest good of themselves. And sometimes we forget. I know we do a lot of self care, one on one. No people are professing that we doing it, we taking care of ourselves, but we have greater healing effect when we come together as a unit,
Mm,
as a village, because the energy is multiplied.
hmm.
When the energy is multiplied, the prayers are multiplied, right? The healing is multiplied, the affirmation is multiplied, the declaration is multiplied, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And so when we come together in our queendom, we are powerful. So that
Hmm.
is a really important time for me because my mom believed it and she always supported us coming together for the greatest good of ourselves so we could be stronger when we left, but we were strong together
Yeah.
in the circle of sisterhood.
Wow. Very
Mhm.
nice. Um, so on the flip side of that, what has been your struggle?
My struggle. What has been my struggle? I would say not delegating, thinking I could do everything, taking on the title of a superwoman, which I do not profess anymore at all. And I let that title go a long time ago because it's like, no, I'm not a superwoman. Yeah, I'm a badass, excuse my language, but I need other people in order to make me who I am today, right?
Hmm.
I stand on
Hmm.
the shoulders of my ancestors, so
That's
I
right.
am not alone, and I don't have to be alone.
That's
So
right.
that was a hard one at first, thinking I had to always be in control. Why? Because
Mm,
you want it to be perfect. Why? Because you're afraid of failure. Why? Because somewhere in your childhood, failure meant that you got in trouble. So you have to unpack all that. So for
mm,
me, it was all about, yeah, being in control because I was afraid to be vulnerable and let
mm,
somebody else. I could do it better than, these people can't do it. So I have to do it myself, which ends
mm.
up making you tired. You're tired when you're always in control. You're tired mentally, physically, emotionally. Nobody want to mess with you because you got the rest and be face all the time. Nobody want to approach you because as beautiful and bad as you are, your spirit is ugly, honey. So yes, that controlling spirit is a trip. And that was one of my struggles where I had to release that and understand the greatest leaders bring the greatest people into their team.
Mm,
You delegate responsibility because you attract people who come into your whatever it is, whatever you're doing. They come, they're attracted to you because you have something to offer them and they have something to offer you that makes everything amazing. Um, yeah, so it was control
mm.
issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for some reason, that leads me into wanting to ask about. I think it was today, early this morning, your wedding post.
Yes.
That was really nice.
Thank you. You know, I got on Facebook 10 plus years ago,
Mm,
maybe before that. And I always said nobody would ever know who I was with until I got married. because I'm not going to play the games of I had this lover this week and then next week I had a different lover. And if that's what I choose, that's my right. But everybody don't have the right to be in your business.
That's right.
So I met my divine right reflection, and we got married on November 11th, 2021 at 11:11.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
yes,
Very
yes,
intentional. But we just posted it the other day. Um,
yes.
and so, in order, the beautiful thing about this is, and we laugh about this, we could not come together and be as one until we had worked on ourselves. So we are reflections of the work that we've done on ourselves.
Mm,
That's what our
mm,
goal is. Yeah. Because we
mm,
meet, the truth is that you meet people at your level of consciousness as we're
mm,
dating and seeing people, right? So at whatever level of consciousness you are is who you end up attracting.
mm.
And so he's my person. That's just what it
Wow.
is.
Wow. Well, let's go back to that because that's very interesting. The people that you attract are where you are. So, in the midst of that, in
Mhm.
dealing with that, how do you decipher whether, I guess, whether it's a good reflection or bad?
That's on you. Like, what is it that you have to work on that they're reflecting back to you?
Mm,
Because that's really what you have to ask yourself. So if you meet somebody that's emotionally unavailable to you, where are you emotionally unavailable to yourself?
mm,
Because if we're gonna dig in and do the work, then we have to work all the way around. Well, he did this or she did that, whatever, whoever your partner is. But where is it that you were neglecting yourself? That you attracted somebody that neglects you? Where are
mm.
you doing that? I mean,
Wow.
that's the T right there.
Yeah.
That's when you really, and that's what I do when I have my one-on-ones or when I have my groups with queens. It's like let's dig in, because really everybody is a reflection of you in some way, and it's either a beautiful reflection or a not so beautiful one. When we start
Wow.
getting into intimate relationships, we have to ask ourselves some questions. Why am I attracting somebody that's emotionally unavailable? Where am I not emotionally available to myself? Am I loving myself? Am I taking myself out on dates? Am I, going to my appointments? Am I working out? Whatever it is, do I cry when I need to, or do I got to be that hard B all the time? What is it?
Wow.
And so we meet people where we are in some way, shape, or form. And not to say that you won't meet some duds along the way, because you will. And hopefully, what will happen is they won't put the good D on you, so you don't be tricked up, and you can be like, okay, I, because you know what, I believe that people that got that kind of good smackdown loving, that's all they can offer you, right? They don't got nothing else, but they can offer you that. That's a weapon of mass destruction.
Mm, mm,
And it'll have you, turned up, flipped up, slipping, sliding, dipping and diving and doing all kinds of things that you wouldn't do with some holy old blessed on you, but you're doing it
mm,
anyway because it's amazing.
mm,
That's all they
mm.
bring to the table. And that is not enough. But unfortunately, we're not taught how to be great lovers to one another. And so when we get somebody that turns us out and that's all they bring to the table, we'll hold on as long as we can because we don't know when the next time somebody gonna do that
Mm,
again.
mm, mm. Lord,
And you can only use with so many toys. I mean, bless people's hearts, in terms of toys, but I'd rather have a human being. Toys are
absolutely.
an additional bonus. They shouldn't be like the end all be all in every aspect of your lovemaking. Absolutely
That's
not.
right.
No, that's for play. That's for additional play. That shouldn't
That's
be the thing that gets me, turned out and for me to have an orgasm. No, you are supposed to do that. That's just additional pleasure.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so you made the
Very
decision that you all were going to work on yourselves. Did you give a timeline or
No, what
did
happened was, okay, that's a good question. We didn't know that until we got together. We
oh
had both been working on ourselves.
Okay.
So he had been doing some work. He was single. He was going to therapy. I mean, he was really doing the work. I had just graduated from a Iyanla Van Zandt spiritual warrior training at that time. And this was actually last year. So that's when we started to connect. And it was like great because we had both like taken some time out and worked on ourselves. Right. So when we came together, we were very clear that we had done some work to be with each other, which included healthy communication. Right. Which included personal self care. Listen, who do I love more than anything in the world? I love me.
Yeah.
Because when I'm loving me, it allows me to be able to love you.
Yeah.
I can't say I love you more than I love me. And God
Mm,
forbid, I'm not going to tell you I love you more than I love the Most High, because that's my
mm,
foundation, right?
mm,
And then I
mhm.
love myself. And as I'm loving myself, I know how to take care of myself. I know what I like. A lot of times we don't know what we like. So somebody else, we feel like somebody else got to introduce. No, you should know what kind of flowers you like.
Mm,
You should know, for me, my favorite part of getting a massage is my shoulders because that's where I carry the most weight in the world. I need to know that about me. You shouldn't have to teach me about that about myself. I should know it. So when we get together, I can say, babe, I really need you to focus on my neck and my shoulders because that's where the most stress is in my body. I know that already. But oftentimes, like I said, again, we are we feel like somebody else makes us happy or somebody else does something for us to make us feel good. No, you come already knowing what makes you feel good. Now they can add some additional bonuses. It's like a Sunday. So I have this incredible Sunday, but you bring the sprinkles. Oh, you
mm.
brought the cherry on top. Oh, okay. But you didn't make the whole Sunday for me because I
That's
already
right.
knew how to do that.
That's right.
So yes, we
That's
had taken time out to work on ourselves before we came together in a divine union.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Have you ever, I know you spoke about, helping queens, but have you ever had to do some work with couples to help them understand this process?
Yes, I have. Now that has happened all my life to the point that I probably should have had a business. But couples are a trip. Couples will be wanting to invite you in to help them go through it. And I'll be like, you could use my energy. You know what I'm saying? But let me go ahead and help y'all through this. So
Mhm.
I have worked with couples on just being vulnerable. A lot of the times it's vulnerability.
Yeah.
When we can't be vulnerable with ourselves, we can't be vulnerable with somebody else. In order to be in a healthy, happy, loving relationship, you have to be vulnerable. Yes, when you open up your heart, there's the potential of getting your heart broken, but that's the part of the human experience. And if somebody loves you just as much as you love yourself, they're going to take care of your heart. They're going to consider what they say and do that affects your heart. And if they make a mistake, I'm not going to be holding on to something that I can forgive you and we can move on. It depends on what it is. Some things take a little bit longer than others, just depending on your level of consciousness and what you feel like was a broken boundary. But outside of that, yeah, let's not go to bed. We're not going to bed
Angry.
angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm. And
Yeah.
guess what we're doing every day? We're praying every day together, right?
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
we say that the Most High is the foundation of our relationship, and I'm not saying we got to be overly religious. I'm not here to preach religion. I'm more of a spiritual person, but I do believe in every holy scripture is the truth. Lie is the truth. So whatever it is that people do for themselves is important to honor the Most High, the source, the divine intelligence. That's so important because it gives you a foundation to work from.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, we both
Okay.
did some work before we got together, and it pays off. It
Okay.
definitely does.
Speak to me about, I heard you say being vulnerable with yourself. What does that
Mhm.
look like?
That looks like if you know something hurt you, then you need to cry.
Mm,
That looks like owning if you made a mistake.
hmm.
That looks like saying you need help when you need help,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But because there's this persona, especially with Black women, that we have to always be strong and resilient. And don't get me wrong, we come from a lineage of strong, powerful ancestors who paved the way for us to be here today. But you know what? They didn't have the things that we have access to now. So we don't have to do everything. Call your girlfriends when you need somebody to help you clean up your room because you can't get through. It's okay. And if
Hmm.
that's a real homegirl, your real friend, they're not gonna judge you. They're just gonna help you get it clean.
Right.
And I shouldn't have to be embarrassed by that, right?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
the vulnerability comes in being honest with ourselves in moments where we feel weak, whatever it is.
Okay.
And it's so important because when if I can be vulnerable with myself, I can be vulnerable with my divine right mate or my lover, my partner, my husband, whatever, because I can be honest and open with me, so I can be honest and open with you.
Okay.
Yeah. You can always tell
Um,
the people that got a brick wall up, those people we work with, and you be like, dang, when the last time you had some loving? Because you sure was tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need a good D in your life. All right.
good.
You need a rim shot, honey. All right.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So if people listening, women listening, want to reach out to you and find your schedule for your conference and possibly set an appointment, what do they do?
You can, on all platforms, I'm with Love Felicia.
Okay.
And my website is www.withlovefelicia.com. And so you can message me. You can hit me up on my, website. Um, you'll see me as with Felicia Webster on Facebook until all the logistics are done with my name change, because now my name is Felicia Casher,
Mhm.
cashing random large checks, baby.
Yes. Yes.
So, so yeah, you can find me. Just look up with Love Felicia. I'm everywhere. I have a TED talk. I have all kinds of
Oh,
things that I have
nice.
been, yeah, blessed to do in the world. And I'm just grateful that I get to show up in love, the embodiment of the source's love. And that's just super dope.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it is. So if we could end our interview with you, just speaking some love and light and end it with your amazing tag, that would be
Ooh,
amazing.
ooh, let me pull something up for you. You got me like having to, let's see what I can do. Let me see what I can do. Where are you in the country? I meant to ask you that too, Angela. Where are you?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Are you in Memphis, Tennessee? I'm in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
How are you? You said East Coast. I was like, wonder where she is.
Hmm. Yes, I am definitely here on the East Coast. And I had to remember because I just came from Central Time. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska.
Wow.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
I know, but I'm here. All right, let's see here. Hmm. All right, I'm gonna do a piece. I'd like to do a piece. I love writing pieces. This piece is called Sisters. And this actual piece was in a museum in Omaha, Nebraska,
Wow.
accompanied by an incredible artist painting. Uh, I'm about to say his name wrong. Ken, I'll have to send it to you. I cannot remember, but he's a really famous artist, and I was blessed to do a piece of three women, and I call it Sisters. I'm gonna do this with love. Uh, let's do it. You're my sisters, my friends till the end. Got secrets on hold that I could only entrust you with. Cause this life, this life ain't always been kind to us. Sometimes has us questioning our beauty, our intellect, our place at the table. But with each other, we're always kind. Loan a dime if we got it. Affirmations on time when we want it. And there's never a question about our seat at the table. Because there's always room for us, queens. We be the mother, the daughter, and the Holy Ghost, shining bright like the stars. We are beyond this physical realm that says we don't matter, but we are matter, the essence of all that is and will forever be. We're sisters, friends to the end, Feel me? And I'm going to leave you with that, sisters, because it's important that not only do we love ourselves, but that we're surrounded by incredible sisterhoods that lift us up when we feel like we're falling, that whisper affirmations in our ears when we feel like we can't do it anymore, that declare our greatness and stand with us in the light because there's enough for all of us. And I said that with love.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
Angela.
Oh my God, Felicia, thank you so much for agreeing. I felt you through your Instagram post, but like I really, really feel you now. So thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you
thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
If you didn't
Thank
do anything
you.
for anybody else, you did something for me. Real talk.
Oh, well, I am so grateful that I was able to be here in this space and time. And I thank you
Thank you.
so much for having this incredible talk. Keep doing the wonderful work that you're doing to spread love because we need it. Fear
Yes.
ain't got no place here.
No, none. Thank you, Queen. Thank you so much. Take care. I hope we talk again soon.
Ooh, let's not be strangers.
No, no. When you see me trying to book an appointment, just giggle and give me the time.
All right, I got you.
Thank you.
Okay, be well.
You too, sis.